Have you ever wondered if our world still hides more than it has revealed? Between silent temples, vanished cities, and stones carved by unknown hands, lie stories that challenge logic and ignite curiosity. In this video, we're taking you on one journey that unites the deepest mysteries that left historians and researchers baffled, stories with no final answer, and discoveries that could rewrite history itself. Before we dive in, if you're fascinated by ancient secrets and unexplained archaeology, don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification bell, because what's coming next will change the way you see the past forever. The Great Enclosure of Great Zimbabwe still defying explanation. Among the rolling hills of southeastern Zimbabwe, stone walls rise like an ancient fortress lost to time. They are undeniably one of Africa's most remarkable heritage marvels, the majestic Great Zimbabwe Walls. Locals have known of this site for centuries, associating it with the ancestral legacy of the Shona people. European attention, however, came late, only in the 16th century. By the end of the 19th century, explorers reached it, stunned by the enormity of this stone city deep within the continent. Early explanations were tainted by colonial prejudice, denying Africans the capability to construct such a monumental site. Yet scientific evidence is irrefutable. In 1929, researcher Gertrude Caton Thompson conducted systematic excavations, proving beyond doubt that the builders were indeed African, a fact confirmed by all subsequent studies. Great Zimbabwe dominates the southeastern region, surrounded by granite hills and expansive plains. Remarkably, construction materials were sourced locally. Natural granite boulders were harvested and processed nearby. Granite fractured conveniently, providing raw material for this enduring African architectural masterpiece. At the heart of this sprawling city, stretching across the hills and plains, stands the Great Enclosure, the largest stone monument south of the Sahara.
The wall forms an oval constructed from dry stacked granite, enclosing an area with a circumference of about 250 meters. Its outer walls rise to 11 meters, with a base width exceeding 5 meters. No mortar was used. Stability comes entirely from precise craftsmanship. Polished granite blocks are laid with a slight inward tilt, leaning gently toward the wall's center of gravity. Inside, a parallel wall forms a narrow winding passage. Walking through it, one navigates blind turns that seem designed to guide processions or control access to inner areas.
The walls are not purely functional. Sections feature intricate decorations with spirals and interlaced patterns, suggesting an aesthetic sense alongside engineering skill. The most notable feature is the conical tower, a solid stone structure tapering upward, nearly 9 meters tall with a base approximately 5 meters wide. It has no door, no interior chambers. Its exact purpose remains debated, yet its presence exudes authority. Around the tower and along the inner wall lie remnants of stone foundations for circular huts that once stood here, likely built from clay and mortar atop wooden frameworks. Together, these elements indicate a densely populated and organized site, possibly ceremonial, political, residential, or a combination of all three. Examining the walls closely reveals extraordinary engineering skill. Builders quarried nearby stones, splitting them with heat or iron tools, then polished faces to interlock perfectly. Despite centuries of erosion and vegetation growth, much of the wall still stands, a testament to design precision and accumulated expertise. Great Zimbabwe flourished between the 11th and 15th centuries, serving as the center of a kingdom controlling trade routes linking gold mines and fertile pastures to the Indian Ocean coast. From ports like Sofala, goods traveled along the Swahili coast and beyond, meeting traders from Arabia, India, and China. Excavations near the Great Enclosure uncovered evidence of these ancient trade connections.
Chinese Celadon ceramics, brightly glazed Persian pottery, glass beads from the Indian Ocean, and Arabic coins bearing Islamic inscriptions were discovered. Local craftsmanship included iron tools and ornaments made of copper and gold. Striking stone-carved birds, perhaps religious symbols or emblems of ruling lineages, remain a defining feature of the site, so iconic that a simplified version appears on Zimbabwe's modern flag. The country's very name holds significance. It likely derives from the Shona term Zimbabwe, meaning stone houses. At its peak, thousands are estimated to have lived among the surrounding hills and valleys. The elite occupied impressive stone buildings, while commoners resided in clay homes. Surrounding areas saw active metallurgy, with remnants of slag and furnaces still evident. Livestock roamed the pastures, symbolizing wealth and social status.
The Great Enclosure itself remained silent. Its true purpose is debated. It may have been a royal residence. The high walls, fortified passages, and massive tower suggest a ruler and entourage. It could have served as a ceremonial center. The inner passage creates a ritualistic atmosphere, and architectural decorations hint at public ceremonies. Or it may have combined political and religious functions, intertwining temporal authority with spiritual legitimacy. The conical tower remains enigmatic. Some scholars see it as a symbolic granary, representing fertility and the king's role in agriculture. Others consider it a central visual monument for ceremonies. Without inscriptions, interpretations remain open. Each hypothesis holds some truth, and the wall can support multiple readings. The Ubaid Lizard Figurines, unknown purpose and origin. Among the great walls of Zimbabwe, we turn back time to one of the earliest known civilizations of Mesopotamia. In the ancient settlements of southern Iraq, archaeologists discovered a series of artifacts that have puzzled researchers for over a century. These are small clay figurines with human bodies but reptilian-like faces. Known as the Ubaid Lizard Figurines, they were first unearthed in 1919 during excavations in southern Mesopotamia, in what is today Iraq. Excavations took place at sites such as Tel al-Ubaid, or an Eridu, led by British archaeological missions seeking the roots of the Ubaid culture. This culture dates between 5000 and 4000 BCE, predating the rise of the Sumerian cities, and is considered foundational in the region. The figurines were found buried among the remains of mud brick buildings, ceremonial structures, and layers of domestic refuse. They were often placed alongside decorated pottery, agricultural tools, and small ritual objects. Over subsequent decades, more figurines were discovered, totaling dozens. These figures, with their unusual features, drew genuine scholarly interest. Unlike most contemporary civilizations that sculpted humans or deities, these figurines were different. Elongated noses, large almond-shaped eyes, and strikingly alien expressions. Some scholars initially believed they represented deities or supernatural beings. Others proposed they depicted humans wearing ritual masks. The question remains unresolved. The consistency in their design suggests a unified cultural idea, not random artistic experiments. The Ubaid influence extended widely across northern Mesopotamia and the Gulf, with an economy centered on irrigated agriculture, growing crops such as wheat and barley, and raising livestock. Settlements featured large, distinct temples, indicating an organized religious system, and they were known for finely decorated pottery, employing geometric patterns in contrasting colors. Sizes varied from just a few centimeters to around 20 centimeters. Made from ordinary clay, some were air-dried while others were kiln-fired. Bodies resembled humans, yet the heads were markedly different. Unusually long noses, wide, eyeless eyes. Some smooth, others with raised ridges running from forehead to the back of the head. Certain figurines display intricately carved clothing, belts, or skirts, while others are completely nude. Particularly striking are mother and child depictions, with the children's features also reptilian. The symbolic meaning remains elusive. Craftsmanship ranges from simple to highly refined, yet recurring traits indicate shared symbolic significance. They may represent mythical beings, ancestral spirits, or participants in specific rituals. When found near ancient homes, one wonders, were they mere protective talismans, ritual implements, or symbolic toys? Without historical texts, interpretations remain speculative. However, the care in creation indicates religious or cultural importance. The true purpose of the crawling Ubaid figurines remains a mystery. Most scholars lean toward a religious function, perhaps connected to fertility deities, protective powers, or natural forces. In later Mesopotamian mythology, reptiles, especially snakes, symbolized creation, renewal, and the underworld. These figurines may have carried similar symbolism. Some link them to shamanic practices, where reptilian forms signify spiritual transformation or communication with the spirit world. Others suggest they were ritual masks preserved in clay. Outside academia, the figurines have inspired more speculative interpretations. Proponents of the ancient astronauts theory see their unusual forms as evidence of extraterrestrial visitors, while others imagine them as a representation of an extinct reptilian species. While these hypotheses lack material evidence, they capture the imagination. What is certain is that the figurines were deliberately crafted with harmony and a distinctive imprint within Ubaid society. Were they familiar artistic forms for the people of that time, or preservations of ancient beliefs predating writing? They remained enigmatic symbols, artistic representations, mythic embodiments, or both. In the end, they stand among the most mysterious artifacts of the ancient Near East, quietly holding their many secrets as we await new discoveries. Dolmens, mysterious stone graves, no clear builders. Across distant lands, from Europe to the far reaches of Asia, stand colossal stone structures that have defied the passage of millennia. These remarkable constructions are known as dolmens, among the oldest archaeological enigmas to baffle researchers. A typical dolmen consists of upright stone supports holding a massive horizontal slab above, resembling a stone table, which has led some cultures to call them stone tables. What is truly astonishing is their geographical spread. Dolmens appear in Brittany and France, across the British Isles, in Middle Eastern regions like Jordan and Syria, and in Korea, where thousands exist. Some of these structures date back more than 5,000 years. Originally covered by earthen mounds, time has stripped them to their current stone form. Famous examples include Polnabron in Ireland, whose capstone weighs over 70 tons, and Brownshill, said to exceed 100 tons. In Korea, sites like Ganghwa feature dolmens ranging from small sizes to colossal ones over 7 meters tall. The sheer size of these stones makes their construction a remarkable engineering achievement. Some blocks even outweigh the largest stones of Egypt's pyramids. Moving and positioning them required a deep understanding of levers and balance, even though most were built in the Neolithic or early Bronze Age, long before the widespread use of the wheel. Dolmens usually form a chamber with stone pillars embedded in the ground, topped by a heavy capstone. Builders likely used earthen ramps, wooden sledges, and poles to transport stones from quarries to construction sites, sometimes over long distances. Archaeological evidence indicates that dolmens served as burial sites or ritual spaces. Remains, pottery, tools, and decorative items have been found inside. Some were used as collective graves, reopened across generations, while others show alignments with astronomical phenomena, such as solar solstices, raising questions about their dual ritualistic and celestial purpose. Their placement atop hills and elevated sites made them visible landmarks, perhaps symbolizing the enduring presence of the dead, ancient monuments to memory itself. One of the most puzzling questions: how did geographically isolated societies build such similar structures? There is no evidence of direct contact between Neolithic Ireland and Bronze Age Korea, yet both produced nearly identical dolmens in design and function. Was this the result of parallel evolution, with separate societies independently arriving at similar architectural solutions? Or does it hint at a shared ancient cultural heritage dispersed by early human migrations? The technical challenge is astounding. These societies lacked advanced metal tools, draft animals, or even wheels. Yet they transported, lifted, and arranged massive stones with astonishing precision, requiring meticulous social organization and coordinated collective effort. The ruins of the Yangshan Quarry, stone blocks and unfinished project. On the outskirts of Nanjing, in Jiangsu Province, lies the Yangshan Quarry. For countless centuries, it served as a vital source of stone. Its origins go back to before the Ming Dynasty, but it was during that era that the site witnessed something monumental. It became the location of one of the most ambitious construction projects in ancient Chinese history. In the early 15th century, during the reign of the Yongle Emperor, the quarry was chosen for a grand purpose: to supply stone for his colossal mausoleum, part of the majestic Ming Xiaoling complex. Workers began carving stone directly from the mountainside. They shaped massive stone blocks larger than anything previously used in Chinese architecture. This wasn't just a large-scale endeavor. It was exceptional in every sense. The plan was to create gigantic stone pieces that would form a towering monument, immortalizing the emperor for eternity. But what we see today tells a different story. A vast quarry, frozen mid-construction, and enormous stone blocks still resting where they were carved, as if the workers laid down their tools one day and never returned. 3 colossal stone pieces dominate the site, each partially carved, with the largest still connected to the native rock. That colossal block weighs an estimated 16,000 tons, a number difficult to truly grasp. Imagine a single stone outweighing a modern warship. This isn't just a rock, it's an engineering marvel suspended in unfinished form. Even more astonishing are the other blocks nearby, each one a mystery on its own. The original plan wasn't simply to cut stones. It was to realize a dream, a monument that would immortalize an emperor. Historical records suggest these blocks were meant to form the mausoleum of Emperor Yongle,
The monument was intended to rise above the horizon, a testament to the greatness of his reign. But even the grandest visions can collide with greater obstacles. Today, the stones stand silent in their quarry. Their unfinished edges tell the story of an ambition that never came to fruition. There is something deeply moving in this scene, where human ingenuity meets the raw force of nature.
Even in our time, transporting a block of this size would be a near impossibility. So how did they plan to move it across rugged terrain? The question hangs in the air, just like the stone itself. Imagine laborers of the Ming Dynasty, armed only with primitive tools, chisels, and stone hammers. They worked beneath the scorching sun, every echo across the quarry carrying the weight of back-breaking effort. Progress was painfully slow. Each block was hewn through sheer exertion. And once those gigantic stones were separated from the mountain, the real ordeal would begin, transporting them over long distances. Just imagine the human effort required: thousands of laborers, crude hauling systems, and temporary roads that constantly needed repair. Even smaller stones, like those found in Baalbek, still raise countless questions about how they were moved. But when we look at the gigantic blocks of Yangshan, all those achievements seem almost trivial by comparison. The task of lifting and transporting such massive stones would have required capabilities that border on the impossible, even with an unlimited workforce.
And the question that puzzles historians remains: why was the project abandoned? The leading theory points to sheer weight being the decisive obstacle. Perhaps the builders realized after starting that the task exceeded their technical abilities. And even if moving the stones were somehow possible, lifting and assembling them would have posed an even greater, perhaps insurmountable challenge.
It's also possible the priorities of the state shifted during that era. The Ming Dynasty was known for its massive constructions, the Imperial Palace, sections of the Great Wall, and resources may have been redirected elsewhere. Despite Emperor Yonglei's grand ambitions, his reign faced enormous logistical trials. Many researchers believe the venture halted when leaders or engineers recognized it was unfeasible, perhaps even dangerous to the integrity of the entire mausoleum if continued. Whatever the cause, the work stopped abruptly, leaving behind a haunting architectural question. What if it had been completed? Even today, the Yangshan Quarry raises more questions than answers. The sheer scale of the stones defies our assumptions about the capabilities of that time. Even with modern technology, transporting them intact would be a colossal challenge. Was the project simply a dream that surpassed the limits of its age? Or did they possess some lost secret, knowledge that vanished with time, that allowed them to move such blocks? And if so, why has no record of it survived? Standing at the base of these unfinished giants inspires a sense of awe. They are a physical testament to a project that pushed human ability to its edge, then stopped abruptly at its threshold. The stones remain where they were carved, as though waiting for someone to finally discover how to finish what was started more than 600 years ago. And perhaps the most compelling question of all is this: could it be done today? The Sanxingdui Civilization with alien-like masks and no known... These artifacts have always seemed to belong to another world, as if telling a long-forgotten chapter of human history. The story begins in 1929. A simple farmer in Sichuan province, digging an irrigation ditch, stumbled upon a collection of rare jade pieces. The discovery was officially recorded, but received little attention, leaving the site neglected for many years. Everything changed in the 1980s. Large-scale excavation missions uncovered two massive pits, densely packed with thousands of mysterious artifacts. The finds astonished scholars. It wasn't just the sheer quantity, it was the uniqueness of the pieces. They bore no resemblance to anything known from Chinese civilization. Bronze masks with exaggerated, grim features. Human figures unnaturally tall. Thin gold sheets. Exquisite stone tools and intricately carved animal forms. Each piece carried an enigmatic quality, leaving observers puzzled. Excavations revealed a previously unknown Bronze Age culture, now called the Sanxingdui, remarkable for its strange and unlike anything art within Chinese heritage. Perhaps the most striking are the enormous metal masks, some over a meter wide. They stare with wide eyes, protruding as tubes or mysterious slits, as if gazing at us from another realm. Their features are sharp, pointed noses, large ears, and lips etched with unconventional geometric lines. There is also a massive bronze statue over 2 meters tall, possibly once holding a piece of ivory long lost. The gold artifacts dazzle with their delicacy and precision. Thin face masks, ornate plaques, and exquisite jade pieces, some shaped like ritual knives, others etched with animals. And then there is the legendary bronze tree, reaching 4 meters with intricately interwoven branches and meticulously carved leaves. What is truly astonishing is the technological advancement evident in these creations. Components were cast separately and then assembled with extreme precision. The artistic style is entirely distinct from the Shang dynasty, contemporaneous in northern China. While Shang art favored harmony and geometric patterns, Sanxingdui creations are abstract, expansive, sometimes even surreal. Researchers suggest Sanxingdui was part of the ancient Shu kingdom, flourishing in Sichuan around 3,000 years ago. Geographic isolation, surrounded by mountains and rivers, fostered a unique cultural path, distinct from the Yellow River civilizations. Remarkably, this civilization left no written records, or at least none have been found. All our knowledge is derived from artifacts and the site layout itself. The evidence reveals an advanced society, skilled craftsmen, religious leaders, and long-distance trade connections. The presence of ivory and marine shells supports the idea of far-reaching commercial exchange. Suddenly, this civilization disappeared without a clear cause, perhaps due to climate changes, resource depletion, natural disasters, or conflicts. Whatever the reason, Sanxingdui vanished, leaving behind a legacy of enigmatic works that continue to baffle the world. The most striking aspect is the eerie artistry. The bulging pies of masks and statues unlike anything in ancient Chinese heritage. Were they depictions of lost deities or legendary ancestors? Some scholars see them as symbols of inner vision, while others link them to local myths of divine rulers. There is a complete disconnect between Sanxingdui and contemporary civilizations. Even the Shang dynasty, despite similar techniques, is stylistically strikingly different. This raises a compelling question. Did Sanxingdui develop in total isolation? Or is it a surviving fragment of a larger, lost cultural puzzle? And perhaps the most perplexing question of all, why were these precious objects placed in ritual pits in the first place? Were they offerings to the gods, or marks of an ending era? Perhaps the burials themselves were part of a carefully designed ritual linked to the civilization's disappearance. Even today, Sanxingdui remains one of the most mysterious Bronze Age discoveries in the world. Its artifacts challenge our understanding of the diversity of ancient Chinese civilizations. Yet, the question that captivates most is this: was Sanxingdui an independent civilization, or merely a fragment of a greater, undiscovered enigma? Which of these sites intrigued you the most? Do you have a personal theory or an idea that perhaps hasn't crossed the minds of researchers yet? Or maybe you know of other mysterious places that deserve attention? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's explore the secrets of deep history together. And if you enjoyed this journey through vanished civilizations and ancient mysteries that puzzled researchers, don't forget to hit the follow button. We have many more stories coming soon. Lost cities, forgotten civilizations, and archaeological secrets that will amaze you.